It's not every day you see an 8-year-old quietly solve a military-grade cryptographic problem that had stumped the Pentagon's top mathematicians for 8 months and in just 30 seconds. But that's exactly what happened to Chloe Williams, a little girl from Redstone, Colorado, whose innocent comment in a military briefing would shake up the entire West Point Army Training Center and leave a colonel scrambling to contain the fallout. Let me back up a bit. It was a crisp autumn morning when Chloe's family arrived at the base. Her mom, Rebecca, was checking on her in the rearview mirror as Chloe sat calmly, fingers tracing invisible equations on the car window, the kind of quiet intensity that made adults wonder what was going on inside that little head. Her dad, Jason, a civilian contractor, was nervously adjusting his tie, well aware that Colonel Morrison wanted all key personnel to bring their families for this demonstration. The colonel had insisted it was important for morale, but Jason suspected it was more about showing off to visiting Pentagon officials. West Point Army Training Center isn't just any base. It's a sprawling campus nestled against the Rockies, a hub for advanced math and cryptography research, the kind of place where equations on a screen could mean millions in national security funding. Sergeant Eddie Kim, a seasoned guard who immigrated from South Korea, greeted them with a nod, eyeing Chloe with a knowing glance. "Smart little one you've got there," he said quietly, and Rebecca responded with a mixture of pride and worry. Too smart for her own good sometimes. Inside, the base's top minds, led by Dr. Andrew Martinez, prepared their carefully orchestrated demo for the Pentagon delegation. Colonel Charles Bennett, the dreaded budget cutter, was present, and everyone knew funding hinged on this presentation. Colonel Morrison, a career military man known for projecting authority, kicked off the briefing with confident remarks about cutting-edge cryptographic research that had left even top university departments scratching their heads. His tone was firm, unyielding, the voice of someone used to command. Chloe, however, was quietly absorbing everything, eyes flicking between the complex equation displayed on the wall and the adults talking around her. While the mathematicians debated the intricacies of their multivariable encryption problem, a puzzle involving 17 variables across 4 domains, Chloe was already mentally unpacking it. She'd taught herself advanced math concepts long before her peers could grasp multiplication tables, working through library books and online puzzles with a relentless curiosity. Her parents had first noticed when she corrected a computational error in her dad's code at age 5. Since then, her prodigious abilities only grew. When Colonel Morrison, attempting to impress the visitors, gestured dramatically toward the complicated equation and boasted about the years of training it took to understand it, Chloe did something no one expected. She raised her hand tentatively, politely, and said in a clear, measured voice, "Excuse me, I think there might be an error in the equation." Silence fell like a heavy curtain. 23 military personnel, Pentagon officials, and contractors turned to stare at an 8-year-old girl challenging months of painstaking work. Morrison's reaction? A dismissive, condescending laugh, the kind of patronizing chuckle that carries decades of assumptions about authority and intellect. "Well, aren't you a little mathematician?" he sneered. "Sweetie, this is grown-up work." Rebecca felt her stomach knot, watching all eyes fix on her daughter in that high-stakes room. Yet Chloe remained calm, unshaken by the skepticism. Martinez, on the other hand, leaned in with genuine interest. He recognized the signs of true mathematical brilliance and asked Chloe to explain the error she'd spotted. With quiet confidence, she pointed to a specific variable assigned a value that caused a contradiction, a fundamental flaw that made the entire system unsolvable by conventional methods. The room shifted. Martinez pulled out his tablet and began running the calculations herself, and Captain Steve Anderson, with a military background that taught him to recognize game-changing moments, watched intently as the tide turned. Morrison's smirk faded, replaced by growing unease. When Martinez confirmed the error and recognized that Chloe's insight wasn't just correct, but elegant, reducing 17 variables to 11 independent calculations and revealing a structural relationship missed for 8 months, the implications hit everyone hard. An 8-year-old had not only caught what seasoned researchers missed, but had done so with a methodology that could revolutionize cryptographic research. Colonel Bennett leaned forward, intrigued, asking if Chloe's observation might solve the problem that had stumped the team. Martinez affirmed it. Morrison, flustered and defensive, insisted it was impossible she was just a child without the necessary training or clearance. Chloe's simple reply? Understanding math doesn't require security clearance. Numbers work the same way whether they're classified or not. That line broke the room into a stunned silence, a quiet rebuke to bureaucratic gatekeeping. Bennett cut through the tension, urging the team to explore Chloe's reasoning, and Martinez set up additional equipment to analyze her approach thoroughly. Chloe walked the group through her thought process, treating the problem as a pattern recognition challenge rather than pure computation. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, she said. You don't try every piece in every spot. You look for edges and colors that obviously go together. Her simplicity was profound, shaming 8 months of overcomplicated analysis. Morrison could barely believe it, while Captain Anderson muttered under his breath, "Jesus Christ," earning a sharp glance but no argument. What followed was a flurry of bureaucratic recalibration. Major Brenda Foster recommended assessing the broader security implications if a civilian child could crack classified research. What did that say about their protocols? Anderson bluntly noted, "If we're so tight on security, we can't solve our own problems, but loose enough that visitors can solve them in 30 seconds. Maybe we're securing the wrong things." General Helen Rodriguez, the base commander, weighed in with calm authority, initiating immediate reviews of research methodologies and security. Morrison's carefully constructed demonstration had crumbled, his career trajectory in jeopardy, while Chloe, oblivious to the chaos, returned to her workbook as if nothing had happened. The ripple effect extended beyond the base. The local school's veteran teacher, Mrs. Ruth Campbell, received calls from military and psychological evaluators seeking insight into Chloe's classroom behavior and social maturity. Psychologist Dr. Linda Hayes noted that Chloe's intellectual abilities far outpaced conventional measures, but her emotional maturity was age-appropriate, a rare, delicate balance. Journalist Sophia Morales sensed the story's deeper significance, a local family caught in a national security maelstrom. Federal agents began scrutinizing Chloe's library borrowing records, looking for clues on how she developed such extraordinary skills. It was clear this was no ordinary child prodigy. This was a national asset and possibly a security risk. The Williams family faced growing pressure and attention. Military officials proposed educational partnerships, advanced programs to nurture Chloe's talents without compromising her childhood or family autonomy. Legal counsel was engaged to navigate uncharted territory, how to protect a gifted child whose abilities intersected with national security interests. Federal Judge Kenneth Brown stepped in to oversee agreements ensuring Chloe's welfare remained paramount, with provisions guaranteeing she could choose to participate or withdraw at any time, preserving her childhood as much as fostering her genius. Psychological experts emphasize the need for ongoing monitoring to prevent emotional strain or social isolation. Months passed, and Chloe's story became a catalyst for institutional change. Military research protocols adapted, educational curricula revised, and a new framework emerged for supporting exceptional children with extraordinary gifts and complex needs. At the National Mathematics Education Excellence Awards ceremony, now 11 years old, Chloe sat quietly, her gaze steady and focused, embodying the blend of youthful innocence and profound intellect that had challenged an entire establishment. General Rodriguez praised the courage of institutions willing to learn from unexpected sources, while Dr. Martinez detailed the breakthroughs inspired by Chloe's methodologies, breakthroughs impacting 17 research programs across 6 government agencies. Chloe's journey wasn't just about solving equations, it was about shifting how we recognize talent, balance expertise with humility, and nurture the next generation without sacrificing their childhood. So what do you think? Should an 8-year-old's insight be enough to upend years of expert research? Or does this story reveal uncomfortable truths about how institutions guard knowledge and authority? How do we balance protecting gifted children from exploitation while embracing their gifts? Share your thoughts below. This conversation is just getting started.